Late at night, while everyone else in the world is asleep, a little doll is excited for Halloween. Jessii has been working away making button eye boxes for girls and boys far and wide, so they may see into other worlds as she does. This time she's added some spooky touches to match the season. Witches, skeletons, and bats galore. But that's not all. She's captured some lonely ghost friends and placed them into jars for you to keep company. They glow in the dark to bring some light to your nights. It's her gift to you, only available on jessiivee.com for limited time. What color will your button eyes be this Halloween?
Hey guys, it's Jessii Vee, and if you did not see my previous video, yes, I have just launched the Halloween button boxes. I'm so excited! So here they are all Halloween paper, and there's a bunch of different colors and different styles, and the ones that have green on them actually glow in the dark, which is so cool. It has a little pumpkin stamp, and it has a little skeleton charm on it that when you open this box up, you can actually put that on a necklace, which is so cool. On the top, we have our shiny other eyes, and then on the inside they all have different like Halloween spooky stickers with jewels on it. And then of course you have the button eyes you can actually take off and like use them for selfies and stuff, and each box has a little pocket pumpkin that matches like the vibe of your box, and they are just so cute. I love them so much. And yeah, I just love that each box is just so unique and different from the other ones, so no one's gonna get the same exact box. And yeah, each time I do a launch, they take me about 2 months to make because it's just me in my living room making these boxes from scratch, and it is so much fun. And of course, Jessii is there to help me as well. And what's so cool about this specific launch is that Jessii has gone out on an adventure and she has captured a bunch of friendly, lonely ghosts, and she's put them into jars and made them into necklaces. I am actually wearing one myself right now, but they are so cool. Each of the ghosts actually glow in the dark, so if you're standing like in a dark room, literally your entire necklace will glow, which I love. They all have a engraved Jessii Vee charm on the very back of them by the clasp. And what's cool is that you can either buy the button box by itself, or there is a set where you get the button eye box and the ghost in a jar necklace. Now we only have 100 ghosts in a jar necklaces, so once they're gone, they're gone. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that the last launch we did, they sold out in 48 hours. So by the time this video comes out, which will be my second announcement, I don't know how many are left. They're probably almost gone. So I will link them down below. And yeah, I've just been so thankful to you guys for being so supportive and so excited about this sort of crafty project that I've been doing. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for allowing me to do such cool stuff like this. So yeah, if you would like a button eye box, I have linked it down below. By the way, I am announcing the backdrop winner next week. It's just so much to say at the beginning of a video. I don't want it to take up too much time. But yeah, Beetlejuice vibes behind us, which does go with today's video. And I even feel like I have like Lydia vibes going on, so I'm all on theme. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you the background and origin stories of the ghosts in Beetlejuice, because you know, when you watch that movie, you see them and you kind of wonder what happened to them, but you never actually get the story of how they died. So that's what we're talking about today. In Beetlejuice, the afterlife is depicted as a waiting room where various deceased characters are stuck in states reflective of how they died. We have the shrunken head man, and he has a tiny head on a normal sized body, implying that he was probably a victim of some sort of black magic. Okay, he got himself into trouble and that's the result. We have the flat man, who is one of the workers in the afterlife, and he appears to be entirely flattened, which, you know, you can kind of guess what happened to him. Something very tragic and violent. We have the magician's assistant. This ghost is split in half but remains alive and capable of movement, so people kind of guess that maybe she was involved in some sort of magic trick gone wrong. We have the smoker, and he is a ghost who is seen to be burned and charred and still holding a cigarette, so he was probably set on fire or maybe died just smoking too much. And we have the football team. It's a group of football players that are still dressed in their uniforms, and it's implied that they died in a bus crash. But today we're gonna actually delve deeper into each of their stories to talk about what actually happened. Now, these are just fan speculations and sort of fictionalized stories, not the official Beetlejuice stories, but they're still fun to read and kind of add that storyline to these characters. So we're gonna start with the Shrunken Head Man. Lance Davis was a relentless explorer, driven by an insatiable need to uncover hidden truths, and his last expedition took him deep into the Amazon jungle, where he discovered an isolated tribe known for their sacred rites and dark magic. Now, while he was there, he stole an ancient artifact from them, which is a very, very bad idea. If you go deep into the woods and find an ancient tribe, don't take anything, okay? How about you just leave? Now, this artifact that he stole was said to have some very extreme power inside of it, which is probably why he wanted to take it home, maybe sell it when he got back. But that night, as he slept in his tent, the jungle came alive with eerie whispers, and his dreams twisted into a nightmare of suffocating darkness. And when he awoke, he felt strange, kind of lightheaded, and when he reached up to touch his face, he saw that his head had shrunk to the size of a fruit. And the rest of his body was just unnaturally unaffected, so he was very disproportionate. And no one found Lance after that fateful night, so obviously I'm guessing the tribe came back, took what was theirs, and he didn't make it. What's funny about this is that my dad's middle name is actually Lance. So I hope his head doesn't shrink. Okay, let's talk about the Flat Man. Charlie Sincade was a workaholic architect obsessed with making the tallest skyscrapers in the world. One evening, as he worked late on a new design in his office, the sounds of creaking metal began to echo through the halls. So his office building had recently had some structural issues that they had to fix. And so as he was sitting there, buried in his work trying to get stuff done, a deafening crash split the silence, and the top floor above him collapsed down on him, and he was flattened between the two levels. So in the afterlife, he remains eternally crushed, which is a terrible way to go, okay? And it sucks that even in the afterlife, he still has to look that way. Then we have the magician's assistant. Isabel was the star assistant to the famous magician named Alastair, renowned for her poise and beauty. Their final performance was to be a spectacle no audience would forget. Alastair would perform the dangerous sawing a woman in half trick using his sharpest blade yet. What the audience didn't know was that Alastair had grown jealous of Isabel's growing fame and conspired to make her part of the act permanently. So as the blade descended, as you can imagine, something went terribly wrong. Isabel screamed and she was split in half. And the last thing she saw was Alastair's smile as the blade went down, so she knew he did it on purpose. Then the curtain fell, with Isabel's body split apart and blood soaking the stage, and now she roams the afterlife in two halves. Then we have the smoker. Derek Martin had smoked since he was 16. He'd light up after meals while driving, even in bed late at night. And after decades of this, Derek became reckless with his habit. One night, as he lay half asleep with a cigarette between his lips, the embers sparked, igniting the bedspread, and by the time Derek woke up, flames surrounded him and the thick smoke filled his lungs, and he never made it out. So now in the afterlife, he walks around as this charred up ghost, and he's just forever gonna look that way. And it's just a warning to everyone to take fire safety seriously. Then we have the football team. The Middleton Wildcats were on their way to the state championship, spirits high, adrenaline pumping, nothing could stop them. That is, until the bus driver took a wrong turn on a foggy mountain road. They were miles away from any town, winding through steep cliffs and treacherous curves. The boys were goofing around, not paying attention as the driver tried to navigate the narrow, slick roads, and suddenly a deer darted out in front of the bus. The driver swerved, losing control, and the bus plummeted over the edge, crashing down into the ravine below. None of them survived, and in the afterlife, they are still all wearing their football uniforms. And then lastly, probably the most famous ghost that you guys all know, her name is Miss Argentina. Valeria Marquez, known to the world as Miss Argentina, was a star on the pageant circuit, adored for her grace, her wit, and her beauty. Her rise to fame had been quick, but the demands of perfection began to weigh on her. And after a particularly tough competition where everything seemed to go wrong, she found herself alone, backstage, feeling very defeated. And in that moment of stress, she had what she would call later a little accident. She wasn't thinking clearly and slipped while handling a razor blade meant for costume adjustments, or so they would tell everybody later on. And when she awoke in the afterlife, she found herself at a desk job forever, and her advice was, if I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have had my little accident. And yeah, those are all of the ghost backstories in Beetlejuice. Once again, they are made up, but I find them to be really interesting. And now when I watch that movie, I'm gonna like apply that to them. But yeah, I am so excited to see the second Beetlejuice movie, which is why I had to make today's video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you would like any of the other eye boxes and the little goats in a jar necklace, I have linked everything down below. And I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!